Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. Chris Holman here. And we're coming to you from the Grand Hotel. This is the site, of course, of the Detroit Regional Chamber of Commerce's annual policy conference. And Zach Morris joins us right now. He's the executive director of Market One. It's good to have you back. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How about you?
Well, I like I was saying off air, I haven't had a bad day in 50 years.
That's a good run.
It's a good
That's
run.
a good run.
Yeah, and I don't expect it to end.
No, absolutely not.
All right, let's tell everybody what Market One is.
So Market One is the economic development organization for Cass and Van Buren counties down in Southwest Michigan, or we might say beautiful Southwest Michigan. And we lead business development activities, so attracting companies into the community, growing the existing ones, and also community development, where we work closely with our cities, villages, townships, and the counties to create places people want to live.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about that a little bit because that's been going on in a lot of areas, and you find yourself, I'm sure, competing with other areas, and certainly all of the Midwest for these things. How do you find your targets?
Well, absolutely. We compete against the upper Midwest routinely. Indiana. So where we're at, we compete against South Bend, Elkhart, and you drive over the border, and it's a whole nother world over there. I mean, they treat economic development as a contact sport, and frankly, Indiana's very serious about it. So as we get the leads, a big part of that is having prepared sites that companies want to move to. So we're working actively on that right now. And we have a couple sites. We have one down in Cassopolis and then one in Hartford.
This is like the shovel ready stuff in case it's a company that wants to come in.
That's right. I mean, we're working towards that. We're doing studies. We're getting to the point where a company can look at it and say, we have all the answers. Yep, this is 200 buildable acres right here in beautiful Southwest Michigan.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That was one of the complaints that a lot of companies had is like, we'd love to come, but you're not ready for us type thing.
Well, that's right. And there's a lot of things that go into it. Depends how big the project is. If you're landing the 2,500, next electric vehicle plant for some company, you're going to need a lot more infrastructure, transportation, um,
And maybe acres.
and a lot more acres, right? Where we're at, we're looking for more companies that are more in that, 100 to 500 range in terms of employees. And the acreages, they don't need as much. They need somewhere between 50 to 200 acres. And they don't need as much in the terms of public transportation as you might need with a Amazon that we all heard about a few years ago that talked about infrastructure with transportation. We're a little bit different in rural communities. People know going in
Yeah.
that you're going to get a great community, hardworking people in Southwest.
Zach, let me ask you something because I've been involved in a little of this through LEAP, which is Lansing Economic Area Partnership. Tell me about when you go out and you try to get these acres because sometimes there's some resistance to that.
Well, then the resistance can be in the form of the local unit of government. It could be some of the citizens in the community. When you first start looking at a site, you have to first determine where is it located? Is it located near somewhere where you can extend water and sewer to it? So I always tell folks, we're not looking to put the next, Fort plant in the middle of a cornfield out in rural Cass County or rural Van Buren County. We're looking near proximity to cities, villages where we can easily extend water and sewer, have good electric infrastructure, transportation corridors for goods and services and employees. So it's not going just anywhere. So part of what we do is we educate folks.
Yeah.
And it's helping them understand we're not just putting these things anywhere. We're having a methodical process for how we put deals together.
It's interesting because you mentioned Cassopolis, and of course, I immediately think of the Edward Lowe Foundation, right? But also a pretty rural area, but close to 94. And I think that's got to be a big asset.
Yeah, from that area, you're 15 minutes from several different corridors. You got the 3196 interstate, you got 8090 right there, 131, I-94, and several state highways connecting it all together. So it's a really well put together area. And you think about where we're at. You have South Bend to the south of us, Kalamazoo to the east. You've got Grand Rapids to the north. We're this beautiful little area in between that's great for development.
And great for placemaking too,
Yeah.
by the way, because that's people forget. Yeah, we'll get the business there. There's also a lot of people that are going to work there that want to live there, right?
Well, that's exactly what I'm talking about here this week too, Chris, is that placemaking is a big part of it. So our downtown's a lot of small, and these small communities are crumbling. They need infrastructure, investment into it. The buildings need a lot of attention. And someone's not going to continue to drive if we're talking about placemaking here. They're not going to continue to drive further and say, can I find a community that's in rougher shape than this one? 'Cause that's where I want to live.
Yeah.
They want to be in places where you have good communities, nice shops, good amenities. We need to make more investment in it. Programs like the revitalization and placemaking grant program was a big part of that. We need to continue to invest in that.
Well, you're doing a great job down there. Zach Morris, who's the CEO of Market One, congratulations and good luck with your presentation.
Appreciate it.
All right, buddy. You're watching the Michigan Business Beat on the Michigan Business Network. I'm Chris Holman. We'll be back from the Grand Hotel with more in just a minute.